Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your girl AdriennaDC. So today I'm going to be doing a quick little eyebrow tutorial for you guys. Now I've gotten a few requests from my subscribers asking me to do a quick little eyebrow tutorial. So I figured, why not choose this point in time to release my eyebrow tutorial. By the time this video is up, you guys probably will see that I have a eyeshadow how-to tutorial as well. So I figured, while I'm just going through the process, as in doing the eyebrows and then the eyeshadows, I figured, why not just film a quick little eyebrow tutorial. So I'm gonna do that for you guys today. So before we go on to the tutorial, please guys don't forget to click that subscribe button. If you guys have not as yet, please do give me a thumbs up if you love my videos and my video content thus far. And of course, don't forget to click that notification bell so that way you'll be the first to be notified every single time I upload. So the first item you're going to need in order to sculpt your eyebrows is a eyebrow brush, and obviously it looks like this with the slanted end on one side and a spoolie on the other. Secondly, you're going to need a concealer brush which looks something like this. You're going to also need a brow pomade or some medium of whatever choice of your choice, to obviously shade in the eyebrows. And of course, you're going to need a concealer to kind of outline and clean up your eyebrows. So the first thing I like to do when I'm sculpting my eyebrows is obviously take my spoolie and obviously brush my eyebrows into place. So obviously this just kind of helps you outline the shape or to highlight the shape that you naturally have. So at this point, you need to be deciding, whether you're going to follow your natural shape or you're going to sort of over dry your eyebrows or under dry your eyebrows, or whether or not you want to trim, pluck, or, thread your eyebrows. So another thing that you guys need to know is that eyebrows are not twins, they're sisters. Once you learn to accept that, then this whole eyebrow sculpting technique is going to be a lot easier. So the next step I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be dipping into my brow pomade. Now I'm pretty much going to be using my eyebrow brush like a pencil. So what I'm going to be doing is taking the flat side of the brush, the slanted side of the brush, and I'm going to dip it into the brow pomade, and I'm going to be basically applying a decent amount of product onto the brush, basically flattening the brush and putting enough product on it so that it can be applied onto my eyebrows. So that way I have a nice little point and it's very, very thin. So that's something that's very important when it comes to sculpting your eyebrows. Now, before we go on, let me just say, now when it comes to the shape of your eyebrows, you want to shape or sculpt your eyebrows to suit your face. Now, when I was in cosmetology school, there was a little simpler technique that they taught us when it comes to, mapping out your eyebrows or the shape of your eyebrows. So first things first, you're measuring from your eyes, from the side of your nose. So this is one of the most important things, and this is one of the things that kind of break or make your eyebrow sculpting technique. So when you're drawing your eyebrows should not be extended overly or excessively past the length of your eyes. So we use somewhat of a technique where we place anything linear next to the corner of your nose, and we run it alongside the ends of your eyes and running up to your eyebrows. So this kind of gives you a judgment as to where the end of your eyebrows should be and what will be considered more complementary. Now, the reason for this is if you extend your eyebrows a little bit far past this point, your eyes are going to look sleepy, and it's going to make your face looking like as if it's sloping downwards. So you don't really want that. So one of the things to pay attention to is the length of your eyebrows. Now, another crucial thing is the beginning of your eyebrows. So this is how you should measure the starting point of your eyebrows. Obviously, if you start your eyebrows in too much, it's going to make your eyes look really close together, and it's going to make you look as if you have somewhat of a unibrow, and it just might not be very complimentary. So you want to use your eyebrow pencil or your eyebrow brush or whatever and sort of measure your eyebrow at the starting point of your eyebrow, running from the side of your nose to the beginning of your eye and the beginning point of your eyebrow. So this basically gives you a mark for where your eyebrow should begin. Secondly, now when you tilt your brush again to the side of your nose and run directly through the, I think that's the iris, directly through the eye and through your eyebrows. So this point pretty much maps out where the arch of your eyebrow should be. So this kind of gives you a guide. Now, obviously, when it comes to sculpting your eyebrows, there are all sorts of different shapes of eyebrows. So some people go for different, you know, different shapes or whatever the case is. But ideally, a natural sculpted eyebrows, the arch would run directly from the side of your nose through the eyes and to this top point here, which would really mark where your eyebrow arch should be. So I just want to share that with you guys. So that is kind of a quick little point. That's if you're eyebrow savvy. Now, if you guys are very comfortable, obviously you want to change it up. Some people take off the halves of it, the ends of it, and so forth, so forth. So let's just get back into the eyebrow sculpt. So again, I'm going to be going in, and what the first thing I'm going to be doing is outlining the bottom of my eyebrows. So obviously, automatically in my mind, I'm already mapping out, you know, the height of my eyebrows on both sides. So obviously that's something you want to take in consideration, whether you want to draw a line here and do the same to the other side. Like so. So I've mapped out the height of my eyebrows. So I'm trying to keep them at the same heights. And then I'm just going to go ahead and extend the line of my eyebrow. So now basically what I'm doing is drawing right at the baseline of my natural hair growth, because that's how I want my eyebrows to be. So there you have it. That's pretty much my baseline. So that's the line that I'm going to be in keeping with. And that's the line that I'm pretty much happy with. Then I'm going to go on to the top again with the same process, making sure my brush is nice and flat. And again, if you want to outline your eyebrows, what you can do is put a line here and put one here. So that way you've kind of mapped out the highest point of your eyebrows, and that's from the starting point. So obviously, again, I'm going to go in and complete the line of my eyebrow. So once you're completely happy with the outlining or the shape that you've created, you want to go ahead now and shade in the outlining of your eyebrows. So obviously you want to take your product, and it's better if you start to the end, so that way it will concentrate more of your depth or your color to the ends of your eyebrows. Now when I get to the front of my eyebrow, what I'm going to do is turn my brush kind of slanted, and I'm going to do upward stroking motions. And of course, then I'm going to go in with my spoolie, and I'm going to begin at the beginning, brushing up through the eyebrows. So what this does is pretty much soften up the product that you just applied to the eyebrows and make it look as natural as possible. So what I'm doing is pretty much buffing out the lines and taking the product through my eyebrow. Now, another technique you want to use is that you want to take your spoolie and you want to kind of like phase out the beginning of your sculpt. So that way it'll look as if the product isn't just abruptly starting from one point, but just gradually going into the eyebrows, phasing out from a smoky kind of shade into the depth of your eyebrows. So after you finish filling in your eyebrows, the next step is concealing your eyebrows. So now you want to go in with your concealer brush and obviously your medium. You can use any type of concealer. Now I use my MAC concealer in the shade NC45. Now you could go a little bit lighter. Obviously when you use a lighter shade, it highlights the brows a lot more. So obviously when it comes to selecting the shade, you want to go a lighter shade, but how much shades lighter, obviously that purely depends on your own preference. So I'm going to be using my MAC concealer in the shade NC45. So secondly, now you do not want to use the same eyebrow brush that you just applied the black shade or the brown shade to your eyebrows. It would be best if you do have a extra concealer brush or brush that you use specifically just to do that. So again, I'm going to be doing the exact same thing that I did the first time. I'm going to be going into my concealer and I'm pretty much going to be applying the product so that I'm going to be applying the product so that it flattens out my concealer brush. So that way I have a nice thin sculpted brush to draw a nice crisp line around my eyebrows. I'm going to be doing the lower line first. So basically this is what you want to start out with. You want to draw a thin line of concealer directly underneath the shape as close as possible to the hair. So that way you kind of clean up the lines of your eyebrow sculpt. Then you want to take your brush and brush downwards. So as you can see, I've done half of my underlining just so far. And all I've done is taken my brush and apply the flat side to the lining or to the line that I've initially created and just bring down. Now, what you don't want is a harsh line. And of course, you want to phase your concealer into your lids so that way you can't really see that you have a product under your eyes outlining your eyebrows. And again, once again, I'm making sure that my brush is very flat and sharp. Now, so as you can see, I've outlined the top line of my eyebrow. Now this is, I would say, probably the most trickiest part when it comes to sculpting your eyebrows. But you just want to take your time as much as possible. Now this is something you have to master, or you can practice, or whatever the case is. But again, obviously, your end result obviously should look more like your preference. And as long as you blend out your concealer so it's not a harsh line, you're playing it pretty much safe. Okay, so once you have your outlining, what you want to do is the same thing that you did to the lower line, is blend your concealer up and outwards. And again, once you've blended out the harsh line, you want to phase your concealer out. Okay, so once you finish outlining the shape of the eyebrows, you want to take your attention to the center, because obviously with the brushing and stuff like that, you might have possibly brought in your shade or the color that you shade your eyebrows with a little bit in. So what you want to do is just take your brush with the remainder of product and just run it to the center. And that pretty much just ends off or cleans up the center of your eyebrow. Make sure it's nice and clear so that way it doesn't really look like you have a semi unibrow.